hello everybody out there, and welcome to a brand new episode 11 of Sebastian's Movie Game Time. I'm your host, Sebastian, and today I'm going to talk about celebrate the legacy of Bruce Willis and all the action films that I've seen over the years that he's done and has given us audiences. You know what we like about him and what action films do we like of his that he starred in.
Yippee-ki-yay.
But today I'm gonna talk about the less good
What?
movies that direct to video, straight to video ones that Bruce Willis started. So, all right. But before we get to that main topic, before I get to the main Bruce Willis topic, I thought I'd do something very special. Since this past Monday, it was Brad Pitt who turned 60 years old this past Monday. When I heard about it, I was like, oh, Brad Pitt turned 60. Like, So I'm going to do something a little special today on episode 11. And that is talking about a few, sorry, a, several Brad Pitt movies that he's known for. So let's start off with one of his most famous movies. For starters, we have the Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Um, his co-star is Kate Blanchett. I give it 2 out of 3 stars. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. It's kind of a sad story, but um, and there's another one he did called The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. It tells the story of a train robber named Jesse James. He was an outlaw who robbed trains back in the period days of the Western days, and he was assassinated by another guy named Robert Ford. They call him the Coward because he got the nickname Coward because he shot Jesse James. He shot the Jesse James person in the back where Jesse James had no gun on him. He was defenseless. Didn't have nothing on him, and this Robert Ford guy, he just shot him with no gun belt that Jesse James had on him. So that's where he got the name Coward Robert Ford. So I give it 2 out of 3 stars. Again, the assassination of Jesse James. Brad Pitt was good as Jesse James. Casey Affleck was good. Co-starring Jeremy Renner, Sam Shepard, Sam Rockwell. So yeah. We have Interview with the Vampire, starring Tom Cruise as the vampire Lestat, Brad Pitt as the protege of Lestat, Louis or Louis. The film also stars Christian Slater, Kristen Dunst, Stephen Ray, and Antonio Banderas. I give it 2 out of 3 stars. It's a very good story. I thought there was some good stuff in it, but so. The Devil's Own, starring Harrison Ford, Treat Williams. If you may not notice, but Treat Williams passed away this year. It's very sad. He was on a motorcycle accident. The car hit him while he was on a motorcycle, and the cause of death of Treat Williams was murder, collision, accident, or whatever. So Treat Williams is no longer with us. It's very sad, but he's in The Devil's Own. I give The Devil's Own 2 out of 3 stars. I like the chemistry between Harrison and Brad Pitt's characters, and yeah. Another Brad Pitt movie that I give 2 out of 3 stars. It's 7 Years Tibet. Brad Pitt plays a character guy who goes to a monastery for monks to learn and becoming like a monk. So I give it 2 out of 3 stars. I mean, that was a little a little good story, but 2 out of 3 stars for that. And everybody knows this Brad Pitt's movie, Fight Club.
Welcome to Fight Club.
Edward Norton co-starring Helena Bonham Carter, Mila Vandy, Jared Leto, who looks so different in the film. 2 out of 3 stars for Fight Club. It's a black comedy. I had some great moments, scenes in it, and it was a twist that no one audiences didn't see coming when we get to the end. So yeah. Um, California, Brad Pitt, co-starring Juliette Lewis and David Company. Brad Pitt plays, he's not the good guy character in the movie California. Brad Pitt plays a villain ex-convict criminal who kills people and who taunts people. So, but Brad Pitt I thought was the highlight of that movie. I give California 2 out of 3 stars, but like I said, Brad Pitt was like the highlight of the movie because he was like, your lead villain person. And Julia Lewis was good too as the girlfriend of Brad Pitt's character. And David Company, well, before he did X Files TV show, I mean, David Company was great too. So, yeah, 2 out of 3 stars for California. Um, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, his ex-wife Angelina Jolie. I'm thinking this is the movie that Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie they first met on this movie and they got married afterwards, I believe. I give Mr. and Mrs. Smith 3 out of 3 stars. I like the humor, the chemistry between, you know, Brad and Angelina Jolie's characters. The action was good. Um, so yeah, Inglourious Bastards, a Quentin Tarantino movie starring Diane Kruger, Eli Ross, Crystal Waltz, who won Academy Award Best Supporting Actor. Mike Myers appears in it. Michael Fassbender, Melanie Lauren, and Rod Taylor, classic character actor, is also in it. What can I say about Inglourious Bastards? I gave it 2 out of 3 stars. There were some good moment scenes in it. My favorite moment scene at the end of Inglourious Bastards is the shootout scene that Eli Ross and the other bastard soldier played by Omar Doom. Eli Ross and Omar Doom's characters they come into the balcony where everybody's at the theater at the end of the movie, the little theater shootout, and Eli Ross's character and the other guy that starts shooting at the Nazi people who come and see the movie. That's one of my favorite moment scenes. And the most iconic scene in Inglourious Bastards is Eli Ross' character coming out that little tunnel with the bear Jew, and whacks one of the Nazi guys on the head with the bat. That's the most famous scene. So that's a good one too. I mean, I wouldn't say it was Quint's best, but I liked how he was telling. So I gave it 2 out of 3 stars. 7. Morgan Freeman is his co-star, and co-starring is Gwyneth Paltrow, Kevin Spacey, Richard Roundtree, the OG Shaft from the original Shaft movie. He's in it. Arlie Ermy, who passed away too, and Richard Roundtree, the OG Shaft, he passed away too. I forgot to mention about that, but it has to this day one of the most shocking climax endings of all time, and even still to this day, people still talk about the ending of 7. So I'll give 7 2 out of 3 stars. I thought the story suspenseful was there, and the climax ending, like I said, is the most shocking ending ever. There's Snatch, directed by Guy Ritchie. I like Snatch. I give Guy Ritchie Snatch 3 out of 3 stars, and because with this low life criminal characters and just characters that you like to root for. I mean, Vinnie Jones as Bullet Tooth Tony, he was great as scene stealing. Dennis Farina, he was good. Benicio del Toro was good as Frankie Four Fingers. Stephen Graham was good as a sidekick character to Jason Statham. And this before Jason Statham became an action icon, he was in Snatch. So his early roles and Brad Pitt's as the gypsy kind of boxer, whatever you want to call him. He was funny too with the accent, the way he speaks in that movie, and just I don't know everything about that movie about Snatch. It's terrific. So 3 out of 3 stars. We have the counselor. Michael Fassbender plays the title character named the counselor, and the movie co-stars Cameron Diaz, Harvey Bardem, Penelope Cruz. What can I say about it? It's a very cringing, suspenseful, intense movie. If you've seen a counselor, you know what that means. And it's a Ridley Scott movie. So, um, there are some intense moments that it will leave you cringing and just nerve-wracking at times. It's a very intense story. Um, so I give it 2 out of 3 stars for the counselor. Um, and then we're going back to the '80s when Brad Pitt was like a teenager, called Cutting Class. Now this is an '80s slasher movie. Now I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, how come Brad Pitt? How come Brad Pitt did a slasher movie? We didn't know he did an '80s slasher movie. Well, I didn't know about it either until I found this DVD. I picked up this DVD when I saw Brad Pitt's post face on the cover DVD. Like, oh, Brad Pitt in the '80s slasher movie. So I bought it. I watched it, and it was pretty fun, average movie, a slasher movie from the '80s. I give it 2 out of 3 stars. There were some good humor scenes, and it's more of a slasher flick tone to it. Um, and I'm not sure you know about this, but Brad Pitt is a Academy Award winning actor, right? Or a nomination actor. Well, he's not the only one who did. He's not the only nominated or Oscar winning actor to be in a slasher '80s horror movie. There were two '80s. There were two more stars who got started in the '80s before they both became best acting, leading man, leading guys. Tom Hanks did his first slasher movie called He Knows You're Alone. I know a lot of people don't like, what? Tom Hanks did a slasher movie? No way. Oh, yes. If you see a movie called He Knows You're Alone, it came out in like 1980. And Tom Hanks is not in it. He Knows You're Alone all the way. It's like a brief, small part. But I just thought it was cool to see him young he was in the 80s, that he got, that he got his career started in. It was cool to see him do a slasher movie. And then another leading man who is a Academy Award winning actor is George Clooney. George Clooney did this movie, had a small bit part role in this slasher movie from the '80s called Return to Horror High. And while it's not much of a slasher movie or comedy, you could say it's like a parody. Return to Horror High is like a parody slasher movie, but it's a slasher flick to it. And George Clooney appears in it like a small part. He's not in it all the way, but he was very young. And so Tom Hanks did a slasher movie from the '80s, and George Clooney did a slasher film from the '80s. So it's amazing how George Clooney, Brad Pitt, and Tom Hanks, all three of these leading man stars and later on movies, they all three of these stars did slasher films in the '80s. So it's really amazing. So yeah. So we move on to another Brad Pitt movie called The Mexican, where his co-stars Julia Roberts, and uncredited Gene Hackman's in it, and James Gandolfini is in it as well. I get The Mexican 2 out of 3 stars. There's some funny humor scenes in it, and the action's there, and the chemistry between James Gandolfini and Julia Roberts was great. Brad Pitt and Julia Roberts, their chemistry as well worked good too as well. So yeah. And finally, we come to the last Brad Pitt movie of the day, of this episode. Burn After Reading is directed by Joe and Ethan Coen, known as the Coen Brothers. Stars George Clooney, Frances McDormand, John Malkovich, Richard Jenkins. Brad Pitt's character in Burn After Reading is like a dim-witted fitness gym instructing worker person, I guess you could say. There's a quick moment scene in the film that George Clooney and him, they managed to, and actually, it's reunion for Brad Pitt and George Clooney, because they both did all three Ocean 11 remake movies together. So just for Clooney and Brad Pitt to do another movie together, which is Burn After Reading, it was really cool. So I give it 2 out of 3 stars, Burn After Reading. Okay, now we move on to the main topic of this episode. The less good action movies that stars Bruce Willis. So, here we go. For starters, we have the sequel to Bruce's first movie trilogy, The Whole 10 Yards. This is a sequel to the first movie, The Whole 9 Yards. But we'll talk about The Whole 9 Yards when we get to the year when it came out. So there's a sequel called The Whole 10 Yards, starring Matthew Perry, Natasha Hessrich, Amanda Peet. Now, you all should know that Bruce Willis, all these cast stars in the whole 10 yards, they all team up in the first whole 9 yards movie. So they came back as their characters in this sequel. Um, I would get the whole 10 yards 2 out of 3 stars. It's not as good as the first whole 9 yards movie. That one is great fun. The second one was I thought the second one was it was pretty funny. Matthew Perry, Bruce Willis, the character scenes that they both share. And the second one, I just thought it was great and funny. It was great to see Amanda Peet coming back and Natasha Hissrich from the first one as well as their wives, and you know that their characters are with in this one. So it was cool to see everybody back from the first one. Um, Bruce Willis also popped up in a movie called Ocean's 12. It stars George Clooney. It's the second Ocean's 11 remake movie starring George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, Julia Roberts, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Annie Garcia, Casey Affleck, Bernie Mac, the late Bernie Mac, Elliot Gould, and Ocean's 12 was pretty good. It's not as good as the first Ocean's 11 remake, but I thought Ocean's 12 was pretty fun. There were some good scenes in it, but Bruce Willis pops up in it like halfway through the movie or almost towards the end of the movie. He pops up in it, so I thought it'd be a cool idea to mention it, even though he's not in all the way. But Bruce Willis is in there, so it was cool. Um, Striking Distance, co-starring Sarah Jessica Parker, Tom Sizemore, Dennis Farina, and Tom Atkins from the Night of the Creeps '80s cult movie. He pops up in this movie as well. It was cool to see him. Um, I give Striking Distance 2 out of 3 stars. There are like a few great quote lines that Bruce Willis character says in the movie. Like he says, "How many man upstairs?" Let me rephrase that. Land shark. And who's the best cop now? Those were the best quotes in that movie. So yeah. Lucky number 11. Josh Hartnett, Lucy Liu, Morgan Freeman, Ben Kingsley, and Bruce Willis is in it too as well. He's like a hitman assassin in the movie. He was great. He has some good moment scenes in it. Bruce Willis. I get Lucky number 11 2 out of 3 stars. So yeah. 12 Monkeys. Well, actually, 12 Monkeys, directed by Terry Gilliam. Monty Python star. It co-starred Melanie Stowe, Brad Pitt, Christopher Plummer. I give 12 Monkeys 2 out of 3 stars. It's not the best Bruce Willis movie, I should say. I know a lot of people like 12 Monkeys, and that's cool, but I give it 2 out of 3 stars. But I thought Brad Pitt had a good role in it. Melanie Stowe is always good. And Bruce Willis, he's the man of action. So, yeah, so 2 out of 3 stars. Mortal Dots, starring Glenn Headley, John Pankow, Harvey Keitel, and Bruce Willis in it too, and Demi Moore. And I think Mortal Dots was the movie that Demi Moore and Bruce Willis first met each other on that movie, and they got married afterwards. I'm not really sure, but Bruce Willis' character in the movie Mortal Dots, he plays like an abusiver, alcoholic, drinking husband, and I just thought it was a good part. But I gave it 2 out of 3 stars. But it was good to see Demi Moore and Bruce Willis. I think this was the first date, and they got married afterwards. I'm not really sure, but yeah. We have The Siege, starring Denzel Washington, Tony Shalhoub, Annette Bening. I give it 2 out of 3 stars. The Siege. It's good to see Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis plays like a ruthless army colonel, and he's just he becomes like a villain, I guess, in a way. And we see the movie, he becomes like a bad guy, I guess you could say. But he had a good part in it as well, Bruce Willis. So we have the erotic, steamy movie, Color of Night. It's a steamy erotic movie, thriller film, starring Lance Henriksen, Brad Dourif, Scott Bakula, Jane March. I give it 2 out of 3 stars. Color of Night. Um, um, it's it's a thriller movie with some erotic love scenes in it. Um, so yeah, but it was a good cast and Bruce Willis. I thought that's the film Color of Night. Bruce Willis, nobody doesn't talk about, but nah, it is what it is. So yeah, so I gave it 2 out of 3 stars for Color of Night. Mercury Rising. Bruce Willis plays like an agent who's signed to protect a boy who broke a government code on his word search book and becomes a target for assassination. And Alec Baldwin is the evil villain in the movie who wants the kid dead because he broke the government code that Alec Baldwin's character is supposed to protecting. So it's obviously a conspiracy action thriller movie, and Alec Baldwin is good as the villain. Kim Dickens, before she did Fear Walking Dead, she's in it as well. And there's a great scene with Bruce Willis and Alec Baldwin together, and it's great. So, 2 out of 3 stars for Mercury Rising. A Good Day to Die Hard. This is the last Die Hard movie that will feature icon John McClane character as he goes to Russia to see his son who's in trouble with the law, and John McClane and his estranged son, they must team up to put their differences to the side, and they must help each other, you know, to save the day. And it's not the best Die Hard movie, to be honest, but I gave it 2 out of 3 stars. A great Die Hard. I enjoy the action scenes. It was great to see. It was good to see the John McClane character back in action again, like we all miss. It was cool. So, Last Man Standing is an action film done by action master director Walter Hill, co-starring Christopher Walken, David Patrick Kelly, Bruce Stern. I consider Last Man Standing 2 out of 3 stars. I like the action. I like the shootout action scenes that Bruce Willis' character gets himself into. And as he fights against 2 mafia families who took over this small village town in the middle of nowhere. So, yeah, so 2 out of 3 stars for that. The Bonfire of the Fanatis is a Brian De Palma movie, master of erotic movies and mystery thriller director he's known for. He directed this movie called The Bonfire of the Fanatis. It co-stars Tom Hanks, Melanie Griffith, and Morgan Freeman. I give The Bonfire of the Fanatis 2 out of 3 stars. Bruce Willis and Tom Hanks, there's a scene that they both have together. It's really cool. So yeah. And this is the first of the trilogy. Detective Knight Rogue. This is like the first chapter of the Detective Knight trilogy. And why is it called Detective Knight? Cause that's Bruce Willis's character in the film is Detective Knight. That's his character's name is Detective Knight, and he's gone rogue. It's a direct-to-video action Bruce Willis film. As Bruce Willis does what he does best, and he tries to give it all. So I give it 2 out of 3 stars. So, and another Bruce Willis action direct-to-video movie he did. Again, he gave it all he can give it all he's got. Is this one, The Wire Room, with Kevin Dillon. Again, I gave it 2 out of 3 stars. Bruce Willis is not in all the way. He just pops in and out here and there at times, and he does what he does best. So, Paradise City. Bruce Willis and John Travolta are back together again since Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction movie. When I heard about Travolta and Bruce are going to do a movie, I was like, really? This is something cool. I mean, Pulp Fiction was cool to see Travolta and Bruce. They had 2 scenes together in Pulp Fiction, and the second scene that the second scene they have in Pulp Fiction, well, it doesn't end well. Let me just say that. If you've seen Pulp Fiction, you know what I'm talking about. But it was good to see John Travolta, and they don't have much scenes together. They don't have a couple scenes together in this movie. But it was good to see Travolta and Bruce Willis from Pulp Fiction to do a movie together in this one. It was cool. And you could watch this movie and just skip the clip scene, just skip to the scenes that Travolta and Bruce Willis characters they both share in the same scene. You could skip over to that. You don't have to like the movie, but just watching it for those two from the 2 stars from Pulp Fiction all those years ago. So I'll give Paradise City 2 out of 3 stars because it was good to see Travolta and Bruce together and last time together. So, and I almost didn't talk about this Bruce Willis movie because he's not in all the way. He's in it for 5 or about 6 seconds. It's Charlie's Angels for Duato. He's not in it like I said. He has like a 10-minute screen time and a few lines and that's it. But it stars Cameron Diaz, Drew Barrymore, Lucy Liu, Bernie Mac, who took over the Bill Murray's character from the first Charlie's Angels movie. I give Charlie's Angels for Duato 2 out of 3 stars. And Bruce's ex-wife, Demi Moore, she's in Charlie's Angels for Duato. So I was like, oh, okay, so husband and ex-wife in the movie. I mean, the second time, husband and wife team up since Mortal Dots that I just mentioned earlier. So I give it 2 out of 3 stars, Charlie's Angels for Duato. And Bruce Willis has a small part in this movie called Alpha Dog. It stars Emil Hirsch, Justin Timberlake, Vincent Kornheiser, Olivia Wilde, Amanda Seyfried, Amber Heard. This is a young Amanda Seyfried before she became who she is now. Amber Heard's in it. Sharon Stone, Ben Foster, Anton Yelchin, who passed away, who died. It was very sad. He was very young, and so Justin Timberlake was good in this Alpha Dog movie, and Bruce plays in the house a small part, but I just thought Bruce was good to see him, and we have more Bruce. I have more Bruce straight DVD action videos of Bruce Willis, but I'm gonna try to get through them. So here we go. 10 Minutes Gone came out 2019. It stars Michael Chiklis from that TV show on Fox TV called The Shield. Bruce Willis is in that one. Bruce gives it what he's got, much he can deliver. So 2 out of 3 stars for 10 Minutes Gone. And also in 2019, he did another movie called Motherless Brooklyn. It's a film that stars Edward Norton, who wrote and directed this movie as well. Co-starring Alec Baldwin, Willem Dafoe, so Bruce Willis is not in it all the way, like a small part, but it was good to see Bruce Willis in an Edward Norton movie that he directed as well. So 2 out of 3 stars for Motherless Brooklyn, even though it's not a direct-to-video. I'm sorry. 2016, we had another direct-to-video Bruce Willis called Marauders, starring Dave Bautista and Bruce himself, Willis. 2 out of 3 stars for Marauders. Precious Cargo, starring Claire Forlani, and Bruce Willis is also in it too. So, so 2 out of 3 stars for Precious Cargo. Acts of Violence was Cole Hauser, Mike Alps, Sophia Bush, and Bruce obviously is in it. So 2 out of 3 stars for Acts of Violence. Reprisal, starring Frank Grillo, came out 2018. Again, Bruce Willis. I keep saying Bruce Willis' name because he's in it. So I'm not gonna keep saying Bruce Willis' name in all these direct-to-video movies because I know he's in it. But I'll list off just the movie titles only. So here we go. Airstrike, starring Adrian Brody. 2 out of 3 stars. Once Upon a Time in Venice, co-starring Jason Momoa. 2 out of 3 stars. First Kill, starring Hayden Christensen. All those 3 I just talked about. Airstrike, Once Upon a Time in Venice, First Kill, all 3 Bruce Willis movies. So if you're wondering, Survive the Night, 2020, Bruce Willis, Chad Michael Murray. Hard Kill, Bruce Willis. I give Survive the Night 2 out of 3 stars. Hard Kill, 2 out of 3 stars. Cosmic Sin, again with Frank Grillo, 2 out of 3 stars. Out of Death was Jamie Keane, 2 out of 3 stars, and Bruce Willis. Cosmic Sin also stars Bruce Willis. Midnight in Switchgrass, Megan Fox and Bruce Willis, 2 out of 3 stars. American Siege, Bruce Willis, 2 out of 3 stars. A Day to Die, Kevin Dillon, Bruce Willis, 2 out of 3 stars. Corrective Measures, Michael Worker. It's a to-be original movie that stars Michael Rooker and Bruce Willis. Vendetta, starring Mike Tyson, Bruce Willis, Thomas Jane. 2 out of 3 stars for that. White Elephant, Michael Rooker and Bruce Willis, 2 out of 3 stars. Ron Place, Ashley Greene of Twilight, and Bruce Willis. Detective Night Redemption, the second to the Detective Night movie, stars Bruce Willis. The Prince, starring Jason Patric, Bruce Willis, and John Cusack. I give it 2 out of 3 stars. And finally, we come to Sin City: A Dim to Kill For. It's a sequel to the first Sin City movie, and the second one stars Jessica Alba, Mickey Rourke, Powers Boot, Rosario Dawson, and with new actors like Clive Owen took over the character that no Josh Brolin took over the character that Clive Owen played in the original Sin City movie, and the actress who plays Miho, the deadly assassin woman, Jamie Chan, took over this new role as the character away from the other. Because I know the actress name who played the Miho character in the first Sin City movie, but apparently she was pregnant when Sin City 2 was being made, so they couldn't get her back to play that character, so they got Jamie Chan to play, to take her character role. But Lady Gaga is in the second Sin City movie. Christopher Lloyd pops up. Jeremy Piven is in it. Stacy Keach, Hulu. Stacy Keach is unrecognizable. He has like a weird face makeup on him. He's in it. Ray Liotta pops up in it as a small part. It was cool to see Ray Liotta. Juno Temple is in it. And Powers Boot, who played the villain in the first Sin City, he comes back in this one to play the villain again. Oh, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt is also in Sin City 2, so it was cool. And Bruce Willis pops up and pops up an appearance in Sin City 2. So, even though what happened to his character at the end of the first Sin City movie, if you've seen the first Sin City movie, so it was good to see Bruce Willis pop up. When I heard that Bruce was going to appear, and it's like, oh, Bruce was going to appear as the same character he played in the first Sin City movie. So it was cool to see him in Sin City 2. But I give Sin City 2 A Dim to Kill For 2 out of 3 stars. It's not as good as the first Sin City movie. The first one's better, but I thought the second Sin City movie was 2 out of 3 stars. So okay, everybody, that would do it on episode 11 of Sebastian's Movie Game Time. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, and you'll get new content every Wednesday. Especially, speaking of which, next Wednesday, I'm gonna name the movies that I enjoyed and liked this year, and what my thoughts about them. So until then, I will see all of you at the movies.